County View live on Uncut, and I'm your host, the guy with the largest arms, the greatest charms, and the words that do the most harm, John Arhitis, talking about the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. So, first of all, let's talk a little bit about what was going on in Trenton on Monday. Obviously, you guys have been following what they were trying to do to the Open Public Records Act. A lot of people have called this an overhaul or gutting the bill, and it did pass narrowly through both houses. So we're going to tell you what happened in terms of our Hudson County legislators, how they voted, and what is next. But long story short on that end is that Governor Phil Murphy will have to make a decision whether it's a veto or whether he signs the bill. So we're going to take a look at that. We're also going to be taking a look, speaking of Trenton, about another bill by State Senator Brian Stack. Of course, he's also the Union City Mayor, and this involves the fringe benefits of county employees. Basically, rather than going through ordinance, there would be a resolution that goes up locally to approve something like, for example, a stipend, which would normally go through ordinance, as I just alluded to. And now we have two mayoral candidates in Jersey City, Bill O'Day and Musab Ali, coming out against that, and Stack had some choice words for them, so you're going to want to hear all about that. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the 10th congressional district. Of course, we've been speaking a lot about the 8th, and we will continue to do so, but in the 10th, we have Hudson County Commissioner Jerry Walker in an extremely crowded 11-person field for a July 16th special election. So there's a bunch of phrases you did not expect to hear around this time of year, but that's the wacky world of New Jersey politics. So with that, folks, we're just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View live on Uncut, John Arhitis. So again, let's talk about what happened in the State House on Monday over in Trenton. So basically, we have 9 delegates from Hudson County. So we have 3 state senators and 6 state assembly members. And at the end of the day, only one of them voted against this Open Public Records Act. Again, many have called it an overhaul or a gutting of the bill. And this would make a lot of provisions that would make, at least advocates say, obtaining records a lot more difficult. On a personal level, I certainly didn't want to see this pass, but, I think this is the outcome that we were all expecting. Having said that, Assemblywoman Barbara McCann-Stamato, who is, of course, one of the 5 freshman legislators from Hudson, was the only one to vote against, and there was some confusion because when the initial voting boards were posted on social media by a bunch of reporters that were at the State House, she was recorded as neither a yes or no vote. Basically, she just didn't vote, but she said that was a clerical error, and she wanted to make sure that her vote was reflected as a no. And she told me, I voted no because I started seeing residents across the state coming out against it. It just felt like nobody wanted it, so I went what I felt was the will of the people. So now going through the list, we have State Senator Angela McKnight. She did not vote at all. We have Assemblyman William Sampson. Of course, this is McCann's running mates in the 31st Legislative District. And they both declined to discuss the vote. And we saw State Senator Raj Mukherjee, Assemblyman John Allen, and Assemblywoman Jessica Ramirez. That's the neighboring 32nd Legislative District. They all did not vote. Allen and Ramirez were not present. In the chamber, Raj was present, Senator Mukherjee, and he had quite a few posts on social media. And basically, this was a summation. This was not voting, which is what I've said I would do for a month, common practice out of courtesy to a primary sponsor from the same party when a member does not support a bill. I didn't vote for the bill because I opposed it. We walked out to many thank yous from pro-transparency advocates who understand the process. But to be effective for our districts, we also have to work with our colleagues on many issues of import coming up. Example, school funding formula. And then you had a couple subsequent posts that were similar to that, quite lengthy, explaining why he chose his position, and he has since said that he may rethink that going forward. Now, Ramirez couldn't be reached for comment, but Allen deferred to a spokesman, Rob Horowitz, and this was a voting session added to the calendar at the last minute, and he said Assemblyman Allen had previous and long-standing travel plans that included visiting his chronically ill 74-year-old father. So that is that. And then State Senator Brian Stack voted yes, as did Assemblyman Julio Marenco and Gabriel Rodriguez. Of course, this is the 33rd Legislative District. And Marenco told me over the phone, I think this bill brings us to a better place than we are currently at for the public and also for government agencies because it allows government to concentrate on better requests without wasting government resources. Legislation is never perfect, and all stakeholders came together to put forth the best bill possible. Stack and Rodriguez were not able to be immediately reached for comment. Now, briefly, the amended bill would end a mandate that governments that lose records disputes in court pay the legal fees of the requesters. It would also allow municipalities to sue habitual requesters, eliminate anonymous requests, and force requesters to prove that fees clerks would charge are within reason, among many other things. And again, it's awaiting the action of Governor Phil Murphy, whether that's a affirmative signature or whether that's a veto. Of course, not too many people are really expecting a veto, but there are some calls from advocacy groups to call his office and push for that. So we'll see. He has 10 days to take action. Now, sticking with Trenton, let's talk about this bill from State Senator Stack. This is Bill S-2702, and in short, it says, in order that's not required for compensation excluded from pensionable salary, would again come via resolution, as I mentioned at the top of the program. And this cleared the Senate Community and Urban Affairs Committee on May 6th, and this was a vote of 302. Stack, McKnight, and Troy Singleton, who's the chair of the committee, and of course they're all Democrats, voted yes. And the two Republicans on the committee, State Senators Holly Schapese and the other one, I'm sorry, is escaping me at the moment, they abstained. And now we heard from Jersey City mayoral candidates Bill O'Day and Musab Ali. And if we look at O'Day, he says, having read the bill, I am asking Senator Stack to explain why this change is proposed. What is the harm in having the governing body act on compensation outside of the annual salary for those covered under the law? More transparency is better. Now, Stack is backing Jim McGreevey, of course, the former governor for mayor. And it looks like Stack and O'Day have finally taken the gloves off here. I mean, Stack's response was quite poignant, in my opinion. He said, obviously, you have a couple of wannabes just trying to get their names in the newspaper as they seek political office. However, people see right through it. If I were these individuals, I would focus on addressing problems in my neighborhood and helping my neighbors more. By doing so, they wouldn't have to worry about seeking online publicity in the newspaper. And he went on to say that they're working on a state law that would prohibit public officials from engaging in lobbying activities on behalf of private clients. And he was quite clear that he was pointing the finger at Commissioner O'Day. So obviously, we're still a year and a half away from the nonpartisan Jersey City municipal elections, which also includes all 9 city council seats. And we're already heating up. You know, this primary is not even over yet, and here we are. So we do have a whole lot more. Like I said, we've got to talk about the 10th district congressional race. I have a couple items in the 8th district as well. I want to talk about some Hoboken. But we're going to hold off on that because right now we're going to take a word from our sponsors. And when I get back, we're going to sit down with 8th district congressional candidate Kyle Jasey. We'll be right back.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. I'm your host, John Arhitis, and as I mentioned a few moments ago, today my guest is 8th District Congressional candidate Kyle Jasey, who's of course running on the blue side of things. Kyle, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem. So look, as we're looking at all the stuff that's come out from outlets like myself, the Jersey Journal, Politico, of course the big stories that NJ Globe too, mostly how much these guys are fundraising. They're both raised and spent over $1 million at this point. That's of course Congressman Menendez and Mayor Bala. And basically a lot of people are just, I'm not really sure what's going on with this other guy in the race. So explain to us what you're up to and why you are in this race.
Okay. So first, again, thank you for this opportunity. Really appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem.
So I decided to do this last summer. I originally had the idea, when I saw the last Menendez campaign, Menendez, the senior, when I saw him running last time, basically, I thought, he'd just gotten off his trial. I thought it was really sad that nobody stepped up to really launch a real campaign against him. So I got this idea in the back of my head that if, in 4 or 5 years from that point then, nobody with a big name had stepped up to run against him, then I would do it. I'd always been interested in politics, and, something's better than nothing, I figured, And so then about, a couple years ago, I found out, our current Congressman, Albio Series, was stepping down, and I thought, well, maybe this is a way more realistic thing to run for, and, this could be a really cool opportunity to represent, the city that I've been living in for a while now. And so I was excited about it for maybe like 5 minutes. My wife was asleep. I couldn't wait to talk to her about it in the morning, and then I found out that the machine had basically already given it to someone else, which unfortunately, that's how politics runs in the state until hopefully just recently with the abolition of the line. And so I kind of just went back to my original plan of, just waiting to see what happened on the Senate front. And so eventually I got into that race. I felt like the time was ticking down and I needed to do something. And so when Menendez was indicted, I was the only one running against him, but then the big names decided to jump in, and I was like, all right, there's no chance here. And so I was thinking about just dropping out altogether, but some of the people on my team said, look, there's still corruption here. He inserted his son. This is not right. Maybe you can do something, and have an impact here. And to me, in general, I like to finish things, and so I figured, okay, this is a good way to kind of see this through. And so that's why I decided to get in and challenge Rob Menendez.
All right. I mean, important backstory, so thanks for sharing. But having said that, again, like these are guys that have been in public life to varying degrees, but these are guys that, again, are pretty connected, can raise a lot of money. They have TV commercials in English and Spanish, mailers English and Spanish. They got consultants from New York and DC. I mean, how are you expected to compete against that kind of a machinery? Yeah,
my Instagram is nothing but Ravi Bala. So, no, I totally get it. And, this is my first attempt at this, and so I'm kind of seeing how this all goes. I think I'm, as of a few weeks ago, I was at like 7-10% in the polls. And, I've really ramped up my advertising and my marketing since then. So I'm going to give it my best shot. I've raised some money, not what they've raised, not even a tenth of what they've raised. But I'm just trying to go as directly to the people as I can with my message and just provide an alternative, I mean, I'm a first-time politician. I don't think of myself as a politician, a business person. And I really just want to do what's right for the people of the state and, just provide an alternative to, two candidates who are enmeshed in the party machine. So if you're looking for an outsider, I'll be that third option.
That point is taken, but given their, I think, fair to say, voluminous advantages, at least on paper, do you really think this is a winnable race for you?
I mean, on paper, I'm probably going to get crushed, but I don't know. I think I could see it going well for me. I could see it going horribly wrong for me. It's kind of hard to say. I think it's a very diverse district, and I think it's understandable that people want to be represented from people that have ties to their community. The district is over half Latino. I'm married to a Latina woman. My wife is Mexican American and an immigrant. We're teaching our kids Spanish. The district is, I think, 8% African American. I'm a part of that community. So I think we do represent the interests of the district or the demographic groups that make up the district very well. I also live in downtown Jersey City. I've been there for about 12 years. And one thing that nobody talks about is the fact that if Ravi Vala wins, Jersey City will be losing a congressional seat. And so, I see these politicians coming out and supporting Vala or whoever, and it's like, doesn't it help to have a congressman living in your city? Hoboken has certainly, basically, with the exception of some town council members, but they've mostly circled the wagons around Vala because I think they see the benefit in having a congressperson living in their city.
Possibly. I couldn't speak to that. But look, you have 4 council members endorsing Menendez, 4 council members in Hoboken anyway, endorsing Bala, and then you have one who hasn't endorsed one way or the other. So,
right.
It's basically, in that sense, it's like a heat, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
it's pretty down the middle, yeah.
But, regardless, we've got a whole other policy issues I'd like to get to. But first, we're going to take a word from our sponsors. Kyle, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Live on Uncut, John Arhitis, and I'm still here with 8th District Congressional candidate Kyle Jasey, who is a Democrat. Now, one thing about this race that we've heard from a number of people is that, well, if I vote for Ravi Bala, if I vote for Rob Menendez, they're probably going to vote the same. And Ravi Bala's contested that. He said, I'm going to support things like Medicare for all. I'm going to put up this bill that makes sure people don't get squeezed by their medical provider. And a couple other things too, but you get the point. So a lot of people are concerned that these guys are going to vote nearly identical. So what are your platforms if you make it to D.C., and what would differentiate you from the incumbent?
Yeah, well, I think one thing that would differentiate me, and I was thinking about this the other day, is if I win, I'm only going to owe it to the people. I'm not going to have, the machine's not going to be able to ask for anything. It's all going to be about just the people that voted for me and the people I'm representing. So I think that is actually a pretty big and tangible difference. Also, I'm for universal health care. I'm for a ceasefire in Gaza. I think we've got to get that figured out. Got to stop all these innocent people from being killed. While I do acknowledge that, of course, Israel has a right to defend itself. Yeah, for me personally, I got really bad long COVID a couple years ago, and my business, my whole industry was not doing well, so my business was not doing well, and I pay for my own insurance. And there were times when, doctors said you need to go to the emergency room that I didn't go. I said, I think I can wait. I think I can wait until I see the cardiologist, this or that, because I didn't know what the bill was going to be, and I didn't want to risk it, And that was a mistake. I have 2 small kids, you know, I should have gone to the doctor. And young parents shouldn't be making those kinds of decisions. Frankly, nobody should be making those kinds of decisions. If you're sick, you should be able to go to the hospital. So if I could achieve one thing, it would be universal health care.
So you're all for Medicare for all?
I am,
All
yeah.
right,
And
makes sense.
just to add to that, I
Sure.
think if we can afford, you know, 20 years in Afghanistan, Iraq, and all these foreign wars, I don't see why we can't take care of our own people, you know, when it comes to an issue that's so close to home.
Point taken. Now, when you're looking at Ravi Bala's campaign, you know, obviously a focal point has been Senator Menendez's corruption case. The jury selection's underway, as you and the viewers well know. And he's done a lot of public remarks. He's done a lot of ads that are basically saying, you know, Senator Menendez, Congressman Menendez, one and the same. You know, you saw the commercial with the apples by that super PAC.
I got that one yesterday
Yeah.
in the mail.
So, yeah, they put it in a mail form now too, but it was
Yeah.
originally a digital ad. Anyway, so what do you think about that, the sins of the father thing? Do you think that's fair, unfair? How do you look at it?
I think it's kind of fair and unfair because Rob Menendez would have never been where he is without his father. So if you go up with your dad, you go down with your dad. So, you know, personally, I don't have any animus towards Rob Menendez. I think he probably did what most people would have done. Most people would have taken an opportunity like that if it was handed to them. But it just, you know, it speaks of the corruption in the system, and that's why I think we have to get that out of here. You know, we can't have these candidates that are just chosen by the bosses and just doing everything they say.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from, of course. Now, obviously there was a debate 2 weeks ago, and then in approximately 2 weeks we'll have another one. But you know, it's just a head-to-head. I know you expressed publicly in that letter that a few published, including myself, that you wanted you know, a seat at the table. Of course, it was not given to you by your opponents. So what do you think about how the first debate played out, and what do you think about just that whole situation in general?
I think it's incredibly cowardly that they're not having me there. I mean, frankly, I can't even understand it because, you know, if you're negotiating that and the person that you're going to debate with doesn't want someone there, then of course you would push for them to be there, just logically speaking. But, you know, this is a democracy. I'm an independent first-time candidate. How are you supposed to get attention and get your message out there if you can't be included in the debates? It's nuts, you know? And so it's not enough that these guys have outraised me more than 10-1. They have to silence me by saying that, you know, my sources say that Bala basically said, you know, if Jasey's at the debate, then I'm not going to be there. And, you know, I don't think, you know, Rob obviously didn't demand that I be there. And it's like, you know, either we have a democracy or we don't. So I think it's ridiculous that I'm not being included in that. And, you know, I think most people should be looking at this as, you know, I'm kind of what most of these people would be if they chose to run for office, right? Like, I didn't have the connections. I don't have a whole crazy, you know, community of people sending me money from all across the country. You know, I think I'm mounting the campaign that a lot of people would mount. And so if the institutions aren't going to give me a voice, then how is a regular person ever supposed to compete in something like this without selling their soul and, you know, getting the backing of the party or all these super PACs and interest groups and all that?
All right, and one last thing before you go, Kyle. So what would you say to people, whether it's one of the candidates, their supporters, Joe Blow, that says you're running as a spoiler, why are you wasting my time?
I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler. So, you know, so those people are obviously probably pro-Bala, right? And so if you're Ravi Bala and you've raised millions of dollars and you're running against a guy whose father is on trial for federal corruption and you still can't edge that person out, then you're not the guy. Like, it's not meant to be for you. You don't have what it takes. So that's mostly what I'd say. I also say, look, I got in the race first, you know. I got in the race against Bob Menendez Sr. You know, I can remember coming back from meetings with Democratic operatives when nobody would even talk to me because they were so afraid of their jobs and, you know, let alone work for me. And I remember driving back from one of these meetings and just thinking to myself, well, I'm just going to get crushed by Bob Menendez. And I said, okay, this is what I decided to do. After my health crisis, it just, like, clarified things for me. I was like, if I get better from this, then I'm going to take some chances and I'm going to stand up and serve as an example for my two young sons. And so, you know, I had the courage to get in, even knowing I'd probably lose. So I don't think anyone can really look at me and say, oh, you're a spoiler. It's like, no. I'm doing this for all the right reasons. I can't speak to my opponents, but I know I'm here for the right reason.
Kyle, thank you very much.
Thanks again for having me.
Best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're not done yet. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-79.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. A few more before we let you go this week, folks. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Hudson County Commissioner Jerry Walker, who represents the 3rd District, is a Democrat running for Congress in the 10th District. So, as some of you know, probably most of you really, this district is largely a Newark-based district. It's Essex County and Union County, but also includes about half of Jersey City. In the 10th District, you have largely wards A, B, and F. So, there definitely is a path for Walker, just because, if nothing else, there's 11 candidates in this race. That's right, 11 Democratic candidates in a July 16th special election. So who's going to even know to vote at a day at a time like that? But we're going to see. Obviously, this is necessitated by the fact that U.S. Representative Donald Payne Jr. unfortunately died from complications of a heart attack last month. Of course, we've already offered our condolences to him and his family and friends. And, he's been laid to rest. And, of course, the government keeps working, so at least in theory. So now we have this special election. So Walker filed 493 signatures, which was well over what was required. He just needed 200. He's actually the only guy or at least one of the only guys, at least when I looked last week, that has 3 different slogans. Again, this is a district that includes 3 counties, which is often the case in Essex. His slogan is people before politics. He's going under the people's politician in Union County, and Jerry's history is helping others is what he's using on his home turf in Hudson County. And also of note, the Hudson County Democratic Organization is not getting involved. They had endorsed Donald Payne a number of times during his tenure in the House, but this time we heard from Chair Anthony Veneri, and he said that they're just going to wait and watch, see what happens. The favorite at this moment in time is Newark Council President LaMonica McIver. She's been endorsed by Essex County and New Jersey State Democratic Committee Chairman Leroy Jones, as well as Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, a Democratic candidate for governor. So let's see what happens. Obviously, a lot of time on the game clock for this one. Now, getting to a couple local issues, if I may. Hoboken Housing Authority voted to seek James Sanford's removal at a fiery meeting. This was on Thursday, but no one had picked it up. So I dug into this one yesterday. So James Sanford, you guys might recall, has been on the board at varying times over the past 12 years. And he was welcomed back in April 2021 after losing out on the appointment, I guess you could say. Like, his term was up and someone else got appointed in May 2020. And he was actually censured by the board in December 23 for violating their communication policy. And this is long after he'd had a public falling out with his colleagues. So just to go to some of these remarks, it is quite interesting. He said, "I show up every meeting precisely to vote no because it's the right thing to do. We disagree. You don't think what I'm doing is right. That's your prerogative. I'm here to do what I think is best. I don't vote the way you would like me to vote because I do not trust anything that this board does. I lost faith in this director." So an awfully strong point of view, but that's what he went with. And the resolution ended up being approved by a vote of 4-1-2. And now it goes to the Hoboken City Council, who is the appointing authority, to take any further action. So with that, also just before we go, just want to say a special thanks to Hardliner on the Hudson. That's documentary about Senator Bob Menendez that came out yesterday. I was featured in the early part of it for a couple minutes. I posted that on my social media. I want to say thank you to them. And just want to say thank you all for watching. We will see you next week.